Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick look at the Bitcoin weekly chart with my indicator top Goon X. Satoshi Heavy and I created this, and it's all momentum based. Divergences work really well on it. It's zone based too, so we kind of know what to look for when we start to get into different zones and things. And it gives us some signals as well here, so you can see one right here. So anyway, try to make this quick here, but I just kind of want to show you guys how this works and how it looks on the weekly time frame. And yeah, it's a little hindsight at this point, but when I'm trading this on live time frames, on lower time frames, when I'm trading this live, it's all momentum based, so it doesn't bounce around like on balance volume and RSI do, where if I get a $10 move or whatnot, if I get a move, the indicator doesn't flicker back and forth. It'll move up with price moving down in live. Okay, so here's where it starts. All right, this is the first time it has any data, so this is where we have to start from. But you can already tell, all right, we get some bearish divergence here. Okay, price going higher, indicator going lower. So we get a pullback here. All right, we get a little dip there. But what we do have is price in this upper quadrant, or momentum in this upper quadrant moving upwards. So that tells us we're in a good, nice uptrend. All right. We did peak down here just for a second, but we recovered pretty quickly. And usually what will happen is we'll dip through here and we'll get a bounce on this one. When we're going down, we usually get a bounce here. All right, we did get a bounce. We usually get a dip once we come through here and continue the trend. All right, once we hit through there, we got that little dip right there, but we actually continued up here. So we rejected that. All right, we usually get another dip here when we cross. So we cross there, we get a dip, and we come back across here. We'll usually continue with the trend. All right, we still got a little bit extra dip, but closing wise, we stayed even. All right, and then we went up. So what's happening live is that you're actually getting a little bit of bullish divergence here even, because this momentum is showing strong upwards momentum, and this price is showing downward. All right, so we're showing strong upward momentum. That's still bullish divergence live, so we'd still want to take advantage of that. All right, so what happens is usually we get to this zone, all right, and we see a little bit of a dip. We didn't see much there. Okay, once we break through here, we know that we're in a really strong uptrend and we're going to continue. And then we break through here and we usually see a dip. All right, so once we break on this top zone, we usually see a little bit of a dip, which we didn't really get. This was a pretty strong trend though. All right, I mean, we obviously did get a dip up here. So what happens is you break through this and you expect some sort of dip soon. All right, once we topped out, this is where we top out at. So when we top out, sometimes it'll go straight for a while, and that's a really strong trend. And then you either want to start laddering your sells there or moving your stop loss really tight. All right, because we know we're at the max trend. The trend is maxed out. It's going to come down at some point. And usually when it's maxed out and it comes down, it comes way down. All right, this is trend max. And that's what happened in both bull runs. All right, so right here, we're going to look where we pulled off. Whoops. So we hit the top here, and as soon as we peak from the top, we're going to think about selling or moving our stop losses tight, or say taking some profit. All right, and we did about right here on December 16th, all right, which is right here when we started to dip off. Okay, so we could have taken some profit here. No. Yeah, right there. Okay, all right, so we could have taken some profit there. Now we're starting to see some decreased momentum. This tells us that we're going to get a dead cat bounce. All right, this little signal here, and we did get a dead cat bounce up here. Usually you either want to re-enter shorts on those dead cat bounces or take more profit. All right, that means dead cat bounce. It doesn't mean trend's going to continue. Once we break through here, that usually means that momentum is dying. All right, we usually see a bounce from when we break through here too. And we did get a bounce. It's usually a dead cat bounce. All right, and a lot of times it'll go higher and momentum will go lower. So you can see here, we got some more bearish divergence, momentum dropping, and price rising. Okay, so that's bearish divergence. So we'd want to sell there or re-enter shorts or whatever. And then once we hit through here, if we really don't bounce here, then we know for sure that we're going to continue down. All right. So when we break through here, we continue down, and then when we get through here, we should see a bounce. Right? We get a little bounce up here, but momentum's down. Price is down. Even if price goes up, momentum's still down. So we're going to continue down. When we hit here, we should see a bounce when we get through here. So this would be opposite of the current trend. So we see it there. Break through here, and we're going to continue the trend. So then we broke through there, and we continued the trend. All right. So then what we look for, all right, we see bearish divergence already. Now we're going to look for bullish divergence. All right. So I would not have bought, and I use this on lower time frames, but I can use it on high time frames too. So I wouldn't have bought until we got down below here. All right. Well, crap, I missed all this. I missed this wick. Oh, big deal. Anyway, so we didn't have bullish divergence until price was already moving sideways. Awesome. All right, that's perfect. So now I want to start looking for buys. All right, and usually I go to a fib. Usually I'll do the next fib down. So wherever this bottom is, let's say right here is the bottom, I'll go to the top of the move. And then wherever top Goon X gives me bullish divergence, I'm going to look for the next fib down to start planning my buys. All right, the next fib zone down. It doesn't always hit the bottom fib. Sometimes it'll go just barely above it. All right, so I usually either start laddering my buys or I'll find a good support in that zone or whatever to start buying in. So we get some bullish divergence here. So now I want to look at the next fib down, which is the 0.886, and that's where I would probably buy at. All right, I would try to buy at the 0.886, and you can tell that our real bullish divergence starts happening right around here. Awesome. All right, and then if we really want closer term bullish divergence, all right, we want to do it closer. We could look right here. This is almost pretty much a double bottom here. Okay, so we pretty much get a double bottom here with the indicator with price moving up. So that's bullish divergence as well. So that's another confirmed signal right here. Okay. And as you can see, we bounce. And also what we get is we see momentum increasing, which is good, but we also get some bearish divergence here from here to here. So we could have sold there as well if we were scalping this on this is a weekly. So if we were just playing weekly scalps, we could scalp all these little moves in between here just off these divergences, which is pretty cool. All right, so we bought at that fib. Now we're watching this. We want to see if we can break through here. All right, usually when we hit this, we'll see a little dip. Okay, whenever we hit this zone, we usually see opposite of the trend for a second. And we did. All right, we dipped a little bit there, but we held that support. And actually, this was a nice breakout here, too, of this bullish structure. Anyway, then when we break through this zone, we're going to expect trend continuation. As you can see, trend continuation, all right? Lovely trend continuation. So then when we get through this zone again, we're going to expect a dip. And we dipped. But we broke through here. This is where we would want to see us break through to continue this trend. So we break through here, and we're going to continue that trend again. All right, so now we see trend continuation. All right, we're going to break through this top zone. Expect a little dip after we break through. A couple little dips. All right, and these are all bullish, or not bullish, sorry. These are all bearish divergence indicators. All right, but nothing's maxed out yet. We're not maxed out yet. All right, we're getting some bullish or bearish divergence, but then we're getting a bullish divergence here and a bullish divergence here. So we could have played that, or sorry, from here to here we're getting a bullish divergence. So we could have sold on this bearish divergence. All right here. And then bought back on the bullish divergence right there, like at that next candle, okay? So a little extreme, we probably wouldn't play that. But then we want to look for when this maxes out, okay? So it maxes out right here. That's where it maxes out. So once it's topped, we know we need to start looking for a top. So this can stay top forever. It can stay top for a long time. So we don't think about trend reversal until it drops off, which is right here. Okay? But we do want to keep in mind divergences when we're up here. All right, at that trend top. First one, typically the first one won't cause a reversal, okay? Typically the first one is almost like a warning sign. The second one is stronger, and then the third one is usually the one, if the second one doesn't go, the third one is usually the one that does, all right? But this second one here is at about 17K. So we could have thought about selling there, especially after it had been topped out for so long. that wouldn't have been a bad spot to sell or take some profit, especially after this parabola broke, etc., etc. Okay, so we're still flatlined here though. So if we could have kept pushing up here, this would have stayed flat and the trend would have continued. But what it shows us here is we dropped, and now it's saying, all right, we likely have more ways to go down. And we do. So then we start dropping here. We get a signal of a dead cat bounce. All right. So we got a signal here of dead cat bounce. We got a small dead cat bounce up to the EMA. That's where you can add your shorts. All right. Then we break through this zone. We bounce again, remember. Counter trend on the first one. So we break through that zone and we counter trend. It's a good selling point again. And we're getting bearish divergence because this is going down. Price is going up, right? So we're not interested in holding that position for too long if it's a long. Then we break through here and it's really trend continuation. So we break through here, trend continuation, all right? We're just dropping. There's no upwards momentum here. We break through this one again. Remember, we're going to expect counter trend. There's our bounce. We go through this one. We're going to expect to continue down now, right? Simple enough, okay? So now we're in downtrend further mode. We have confirmed that downtrend is going to continue because we're in this lower zone. More than likely anyway. Now we want to see where we can bounce. So here's the support. Okay. Here's the support. And I'm going to slide this up just one little touch, I think. Yep, because I'm not on it. All right. So you see this bounce right on that line, and we're just peeking through it right now. So far we're not holding that support. We're not bouncing there. So maybe we would bounce down here if we close this low. All right. Momentum showing still decreased momentum. No bullish divergence, obviously. All right, we could just get some bullish divergence here maybe. But to do that, price would have to be lower than this point. So obviously that's not going to happen. So we expect to try to get some divergence here. Price going lower. All right, so if we just start on this zone, let's just start from this zone here and say, where's that point at? Right here. Okay, we're gonna go up to the top and we're gonna look for a bounce at the next fib. All right. If we get bullish divergence here. So this is gonna need to come down here. So we might not get bullish divergence yet. Anyway, we could bounce at 2600, 2500-ish. That would be the 0.886 again. That would make some sense. All right, so that's a good area of interest. Maybe this could be a possible. We got a nice strong bounce here, and kind of like a little uptick here. So we could maybe say this is a spot. And I do play these sometimes on the lower time frames. These little tiny like just non-straight movements. And that would actually make a little bit more sense because we could get some really, like a $1,000 drop would probably take us to around here. So that actually makes really good sense here. So, and this fibs don't move very much because that point is right here. All right, so around 2600 still. So that's logical that we would bounce there. We've got some strong support here. All right, that would give us some bullish divergence. All right, who knows? Worst case scenario, we see this. I mean, if we see this, this would be awesome. Some bullish divergence from here. I don't know how deep it would go, but if it went to this zone, bounced here, that would make sense. I see that a lot on other time frames where it bounces on this line. So something to keep an eye on. I don't know if these trend lines really matter, or if these are worthwhile or not. It's a little deep. Maybe like this one where it kind of ricochets off a couple times. I don't know. Anyway, that's all theory at this point, but that would make some sense if we landed over here on this line, on this trend line, and on that. Anyway, so what we do know right now, all right, is that momentum's still down. That's what we do know. There's no upwards momentum showing yet. There's no bullish divergence. All right, even with this bounce here, we're still dropping down with price trying to climb up. So we just don't have any momentum yet. Okay, that's all I'm seeing right now, you guys. I just wanted to share this indicator that I've been using. It works pretty much similar on lower time frames, but just kind of showing some interesting things on the weekly. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.